I became much more of a fan once she got that dental work done.
Rodeo time. Gotta get her on down the road.
Yeah.
Are Drew and I the only ones caffeining it up?
You got any more?
Yeah, in the truck. Drew's got another one in his pocket.
You gonna
Dude,
snort it?
this is my fourth of the day.
Fourth? We only had one this morning.
How about I just drink half of this and then I give you...
All right.
Yeah, I didn't
I am
want
running
nothing.
on
No,
fumes right now.
Dude, I got sluggish when we were out there.
This morning?
No, about an hour ago, after we ate lunch.
Yeah.
Mine was like 5 minutes ago when we walked through the door. It hit me. My 8 shots of espresso finally wore off, but you came to the rescue with some spark. Oh, I look good.
You gotta talk into the
Yeah, you're
mic.
talking to the mic, bro.
Talking to the mic.
That's what they're for, Drew.
I can't.
Drew is an artist, and he's doing some murals here at Winnebago Rodeo Time. He's done 2, one of which we're going to show you. The other one we'll show you at a later date. We don't want to give him everything.
The mural will be acknowledged later on in
Will
the
be
video.
revealed later in the video. That's a shout out to King Richards up in Canada. God,
He's going to love that if he listens to this.
I hope he does.
I like
He
his
was supposed to
videos.
come here, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
He was going to come in late March.
Was he going to bring Annabelle?
I don't know that he goes anywhere without Annabelle the Pumchie.
The bucking dog.
Welcome to the podcast. This is Dale Brisby, Donnie Ray Daytona, Leroy Gibbons, and our guest today is Mr. Drew Merritt. He is a world-renowned artist, currently back in New Mexico. I'll let him get into his story, but you've been in L.A. for 10 years.
10 years.
My, how long's it been?
9 or 10 years.
10 years.
Very long time, man.
So what's it like being back in New Mexico, having been in L.A. for 10 years? I mean, that's literally like polar opposites.
That's what they call a decade. That's a long time.
Or except the fact that they're both in the desert.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, like it's good to be back home because I mean, you know, it'll always be home. New Mexico will always be home or whatever, but man, I miss the food. You
In
know?
LA?
Yeah. But even if I was in LA right now, it's not like I'd be getting the food. Like
Right.
everything's kind of closed down, and you know, you do the to-go stuff or whatever, but
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's not
man,
the
I miss.
same.
It's not the same. And then, you know, the weather's always beautiful, but not missing the traffic.
Yeah.
But you know how, like, New Mexico around here, things are kind of like, it evens out. So you go to Santa Monica from, like, downtown, it takes, I mean, sometimes it could take 20 minutes, sometimes it could take 3 hours because of traffic. And, like, from where I'm at, from my hometown, I'm probably, like, 30 minutes from town.
Yeah.
So it's, like, relative, but the difference is I'm going, like, 25, 30 miles versus just a few miles in L.A.
Yeah.
So it messes with your head, dude. Like,
Or if you got to go somewhere close, you're like getting ready to leave like an hour ahead of time, and then you realize it's like 6 minutes away, and
yeah.
it's such a, yeah.
That's it, dude. But
That's Winnebago, man. We live at a different pace here. I've only, except a few years in college, like, what? What are you
Life
laughing
moves
at?
a little slower in Winnebago, Texas. Do you
It
reckon?
does. It does. Yeah. Are there Stanleys growing on trees?
Yeah.
The Phyllis's growing on the. Show me that farm. Show me that farm. We reference The Office here a lot. It's like rodeo, ranching, and The Office is really what this podcast is all about.
And Lonesome Dove.
Yeah.
A few Lonesome Dove here and there.
yeah.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Just a little, man. I gotta watch. We were talking about the other day. I gotta watch myself with The Office, because once I go down that rabbit hole, if I like watch one episode, like, I'm in. And
Yeah.
I will, like, binge watch it.
Yep.
Forever.
Yeah.
And then I was also saying how I get frustrated because I'm so immersed in it that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, Michael, would you just shut up?
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? And then I have to remind myself, he's a fictional character.
Yeah, you pull out your phone. I wonder what Jim's doing later.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Yeah. Maybe Dwight wants to come up. No, he's paintballing with his friends. So, New Mexico, how different are like small town New Mexico where you grew up to Winnebago?
Man, like it's not that different. You know,
Yeah.
like you have that kind of that same kind of like ranch cowboy culture. You know, like where I'm from, I don't know about here, but like there's a lot more agriculture from like where I'm from. Like looking at y'all's landscape, I mean, we're just flat.
Right.
You know, it's just
You mean like a lot more farmland?
a lot more farmland. Like
Yeah.
I haven't really seen much here, but
Yes, sir.
yeah. So
Yeah, right around here, there's a lot of wheat pasture, but they'll be like just random. It's not all. Obviously, there's a little more roll. We're on the edge. Like you go south of here, like back towards Fort Worth and west towards east towards Fort Worth. You get into like oak trees and whatnot, but like we're right on the edge of the oak trees, and it's about to be just mesquite trees.
yeah.
And you got a bunch of wheat pasture tucked into different places. But if you go west an hour, it's real flat and just a bunch of wheat pasture. But
Yeah.
that's really the only thing that we farm locally. Did you just kill that?
Yeah.
I meant like we could share it.
Oh.
You didn't already drink your half?
I didn't drink half.
Y'all are sharing,
Wish I had
sharing
some.
drinks now?
Wish I had some that I could.
Oh, yours is
Wish
full.
I had some of that. Good thing I got some of this.
Ah.
Booty sweat. I got back in Da Nang.
Back in Danae.
Yeah, you don't want none of this lean.
Have you seen Tropic Thunder?
I love that show.
Oh my gosh, my buddy Garrison, he's been on a podcast. We met in Snook, Texas, outside of College Station. He lived in this little cinder block building and had no TV. You know, he had like 4 movies that I gave him. And one of them was Tropic Thunder, and he just like watched it over and over and over. He could quote Lonesome Dove backwards and forwards, and Tropic Thunder, like those 2 movies.
Impressive.
I don't know how many times I've heard him say, "What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
You got any tips?
Got any tips?
Give me that map.
Give me that map.
Man, that was the first
Tell him,
time. that-
Zaneski. Tell him what time it is.
Tell me what time it is, Sandusky.
I was like the first time that I saw Robert Downey Jr. I was like, wow, he can really act. Like he's a phenomenal actor. But then
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, dude, this is confusing me,
Yeah.
and this is
Right.
a comedy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, I saw like a little bit where he was talking to, was it Rogan?
Yeah.
Downey Jr. went
Probably.
on. Yeah, he went on Rogan. He was talking about it. How it was like. Anyway, whatever.
Off course.
Yeah.
Rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
So, Drew, LA to New Mexico.
Speaking of Rogan and podcasts, there's a lot of those going on in L.A.
Oh, man, all of them.
I think we're the only ones in Winnebago.
No.
Believe it or not.
No.
Believe it or not.
Didn't Pedro start one?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Not to
he
my
said he
knowledge.
wants to start one.
Maybe he wants to.
Yeah.
Anyways, podcasts, L.A. You been on
Man.
any other ones?
I've been on a few. The one that I was on, it was oh man, there's a couple of buddies out of Berlin. It was German.
Oh, so it's like a
Germany.
Zoom call?
No, like they were in LA. A buddy of mine, James Blue, he's a big artist, travels all around the world. He was in LA doing a mural, and me and a friend were just like, oh yeah, well, like come through. So we went to the Airbnb that they were staying at. They had all the mics and everything, and like we did a podcast then. But it was cool, and
Yeah.
that was whenever like it kind of first came out that I was kind of from like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So we spent a lot of time talking more about like where I came from than kind of like where I was going. We didn't even we touched a little bit on like art technique, but we started in on that, and then he was like, hold up, where are you from? You know,
There's not a lot of people in L.A. that can have that backstory.
Yeah. So that's whenever I kind of thought that it was like, oh, this is like unique to what, you know, street art or graffiti, whatever. Trail art, I don't know. Trail artist? Am I like a, you know what I mean? Like a county road artist? I don't know what your
Rattle
correct.
can cowboy.
Yeah.
you get to name it. Like you're a pioneer. So like you get to name this.
Oh man.
And you're starting in Winnebago.
I do like that Rattle King Cowboy.
Me too.
A bunch of those
I'm
are.
stealing that.
Yeah, you can
Dude,
have
that's
it.
yours.
All right.
I'll give that to you.
You've been doing that to me all week.
Hey, I just want to say thank you, Dale.
Dude, that's the same way Cheech looked at me yesterday. Cheech is our, he's like a sales rep. Not like he is our sales rep, the only sales rep we have. And he landed this big store. And he was like, yeah, I think they're going to start. And I was like, yeah, no, I saw the girls, like Lisa and Caitlin were packing that order. And I was like, man, that's awesome for you. Have you done the math yet on what 3% is? And this fool turned left. Like, I've never seen him move that fast. He went like that. I was like, is your neck okay, bro? Anyways, because he gets more than 3%, obviously. He looked over at me like, and I couldn't help but smile.
Oh man.
Anyway, Rattle King Cowboy, you can have that.
Rattle Can.
That's what I said, Rattle Can.
Oh, they said Rattle King.
That too. Either one, you can have both of them.
Yeah.
If it's the genre, the Rattle Can, I am the Rattle King.
So some of those podcasters are leaving out of LA though.
Yeah. I know Rogan is.
He's in
Right,
Austin,
he's
isn't
in
he?
Austin.
I was we were sitting at the lake yesterday, and I'm gonna name drop here because I'm really excited about it. It means a lot to me. Theo Vaughn was we were DMing, and he was like, hey, are you in Tennessee? And I said, nah, man, the music sucks there. And I said, and that's where they had the first Denny's, bruh. For anybody that's heard his bit on Denny's.
That's a deep track.
Yeah. What they clean the tables with in their syrup?
And everything in there tastes like eggs and onions, especially silverware if you just go in there and lick them.
Mike just went out there and goes, oh my gosh. Anyways, gang. And and then I was talking to a guy and he said, no, I think he moved to Tennessee. And
Oh
so
man, no disrespect.
my next DM was, is that where you live? ? I love Tennessee. I go there all the time. I don't think have you ever met Theo Vaughn?
No, never met the other one.
But
I know people that know. Like, I think we have some mutual friends because I've like heard name in passing or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, that's
I'm gonna
what's
go.
up.
Yeah, like, it's always, dude. That's like the most LA thing I've said while I'm here though. Like, oh no, like I got friends of friends with it. Like, we have
Yeah.
mutual people, and it's like,
Everybody says that in LA or something.
yeah, that's the LA thing.
But I feel like it's kind of like 7 degrees of 7 bacon. Like, once you're in LA, like, you probably know somebody that knows somebody that knows that person.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, so my brother, he knows this guy, and it's this guy's aunt's sister-in-law. Dude, is met Dr. Dre.
You just described Dale Brisby because you started talking, and I was like, is this a real story or is this a joke? That's where I live. I live in that
Yep.
moment. Is this fool joking or is this a real story? That's Dale Brisby. Some people get it, some people don't. So why? How much of your like origin story as far as like painting do you want to even talk? Do you like you told us a couple stories. Do you tell those publicly or like?
I haven't much because like I like I'm trying to do more of the like the face like voice stuff. Like I've always been kind of like that like growing up in graffiti, it was like more about like your name or like whatever, and then you just didn't do the
Yeah,
like
the
this-
mask.
the mask
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
I'm just talking about like, are you okay with communicating the fact that you were like a misfit?
Doing hood rats.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hood rat things.
100%, because I know that there's some kid out there in like some little New Mexican town or Texas town or Tennessee, like wherever, and they're like, if this is good as it gets, I'm in for it for life. So like I talk about it pretty openly.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah, like man, like not fitting in whenever you're in a small town or like being different or like sticking out. Like until you get older, dude, it's rough.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you don't really fit. Like I always described it like I had like a bunch of different friend groups or whatever, and like I would kind of go in between them and hang out with these guys and then hang out with these guys and hang out with this clique, and I never really fit with any of them. But then once I figured out that awkward space in the middle of all those friends was actually like my space, and I was like unique. That's whenever like perspective switch, everything changed, and I was like, oh, this is sick. I'm like my own animal in this, like,
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's how I was. I wasn't like out doing stuff like what you were doing, but like I hung out with a bunch.
Not that
of
much different though.
Yeah, doing a
Yeah.
bunch of different stuff. It was fun. I
Yeah,
liked
that's-
hanging out with different people all the time.
dude, it's about that, man.
Yeah.
And then you figure out you're like the glue, and it's like you can be the ambassador to all these like different
Yeah.
groups. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
So
Or you
it's,
can get them to party together, and then it's sick, you know?
yeah, dude. It's like- and then sometimes it's like the most awkward thing you've ever seen because you're like,
Sometimes.
this does not work well.
Yeah.
I should not.
You're like the train station bathroom that everybody passes through. You're like the train station. You're like the bathroom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you're a redhead, you know.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you listening and not watching, Donnie is extremely redheaded and short. I got to tell people that in the podcast,
It's like
just so
every
they
podcast, though.
they need the visual.
It's starting to get hurtful. Like, you're saying it like mean.
I like how you put your podcast stand all the way down. That way you got a little bit of lean down. That way it makes it look like you're taller.
Okay.
Donnie doesn't like
But-
me.
But
Donnie doesn't like me.
in Donnie's defense, like I was like, you got good posture. I'm over here on the mic, kind of like, I'm down here, and you're like, yeah,
Thanks, bro. Means a lot.
Good posture.
I'm here for it.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
feel like, can you relate to what he just described?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Leroy and this guy just touched on a spiritual level, and he doesn't even know it. And then Donnie spoke up. I don't know. I think I felt like we grew up in a small town. Same as Winnebago. Not Winnebago, but same size.
Yeah.
You know, a little bigger. And, because you went to, so you're talking about Clovis, right?
Yeah, well, so I switched around a little bit at schools. I kind of like went between a few, but I grew up at a place called St. Vrain, New Mexico. So it was a post office.
Gotcha.
And then I went to Melrose, New Mexico, school for a little bit. And then I went to Clovis, which was like bigger for what I was used to, but it was still a small town. But yeah, man, it was very it was different.
So, and that was 505?
So like northern New Mexico, like Albuquerque, stuff like that, 505. So down where I'm from is 575.
And so, but it used to be switched?
Yeah.
And-
It used to be 505 and they switched it. And I knew
Wh-
some guys with some 505 tattoos where I'm from that.
They were pretty
Yeah.
pissed.
It was like,
Son of a.
yeah, it was like, oh man.
Can we
Can't
change
change
this
that. Oh,
0
yeah.
to 7?
Do I switch arms? Like, what it is? Pretty prominent on my back. I guess I have to move.
Probably just put a year on it and then
Yeah.
add an extra one.
Have you ever
Starting
seen
day.
Have you ever seen The Dirt, the movie
Yeah.
about Motley Crue?
Oh yeah.
The
yeah,
manager gets the name of the album tattooed on his arm, and then the guy Nikki Sixx changes the name of the album the day before it's
Yeah.
supposed to release.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's painful.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But the cool thing I will say about like New Mexico culture, I mean, it's still kind of like the car culture. Like, where I'm from is kind of weird. It's like, you know, there's still some like lowrider stuff, car culture, whatever. So, having said that, like I could kind of come, you know, like coming from like farm ranch background, like do that, go hang out with all my friends, like kind of in those circles. And then I moved to LA, and it was kind of like the same sort of like. Same sort of culture, you know, like heavy influence with like tattoo, Hispanic, lowrider, like classic car stuff. And coming from where I'm from, like it wasn't too off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So that was like kind of cool because you go out there and it's like similar.
But you're talking about like the LA, like local
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
But-
Not too Hollywood.
Is there like a very clear line between the local culture and Hollywood type culture?
It's so, like, I mean, I would say yes. It's like anywhere, like regional. Like
Uh-huh.
if you go like South Central LA, it's gonna be very different from the hills. But then you kind of have that kind of like switch off where it's like, oh well, rent was cheap over here, so we moved over here.
Yeah.
And it's the trade off. It's like you'll have, like, I know guys that grew up in Hollywood, but now they like live in Beverly Hills, or like, you know, they were like, oh, this, I'm all about Long Beach because it has like small town feel.
Yeah.
So like, and then like in every one of those, there's like the neighborhoods, and I'm like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But
So are you like the cowboy type kid there in LA to all your friends?
dude, I kept it hidden from my friends for so long.
Really?
Because I think with me, like, I had such a focus and such a passion for what I wanted to do. It was gonna be hard to, like, first of all, to make friends, because I had kind of like that experience with like the hometown crowd, like whatever. If you're different, people don't usually like react to that very well at first. So I mean, like, I was always myself or whatever, but it's not like I'm gonna, like, you know, dress the same as like I am like working cattle and then like go to LA and like paint like a mural. And there's always gonna be those like crossover things, like with, you know, your wardrobe or whatever, that you just don't even realize. And like the guys that I kind of like hooked up with whenever I got out there, Seventh Letter, graffiti, you know, like street art, whatever you want to call it, collective. Those guys always tell the story. They're like, dude, we found you and you were like in Biv overalls with straw hanging out of your mouth. And I was kind of like, man, I thought I kept it pretty cool. Like, I didn't realize you guys like noticed it.
Picked up on it.
Yeah, and then like even like the way I talk, you know, like accent, whatever, you try to like, I tried to just, my whole life I tried to like not have that.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just like over it, and it's like, whatever, I don't care, I'm tired of trying. But yeah, so I go out there and it was just a whole other world from back home, but similar in a lot of aspects. But man, yeah, like, I just, whenever I found out, I guess, that my story was different, is whenever I was like, you know what, like, this is pretty unique to like my world. So I've just kind of been letting it fly for the last few months, or almost a year, I guess now.
Yeah.
But
Dang. Do you feel? So what about like the painting aspect? Like, you went out there thinking or knowing that was gonna like further your career?
oh man, I painted where I was at for kind of forever, and then I kind of figured that it was like, so where I was staying, I needed a house, so I found a warehouse kind of on the wrong side of town. I was like, all right, I'm gonna turn this into a gallery. So like, I had like a little gallery, and I lived in this warehouse on the wrong side of the tracks, and it was just kind of like, whatever. Did some really cool stuff there, renovated the gallery, had some shows, great turnouts, whatever. But there was a sign every time I pulled in to where I was gonna park, and it was a dead end sign. So for like years, I would like pull into my place, I feel like I'm doing good, and I'd see that dead end sign, and every time I was like, oh man, this isn't like career changing. This isn't like I will be here forever unless I get out and like try to further my career and, you know, kind of like get a name for myself or like get into those circles. And that happened because I was trying to get into galleries, and pretty much every gallery, like, they were like, who are you? And I was doing okay in my own hometown, you know, like I was like selling some little paintings, drawings, but then I go to LA to like, or like anywhere else to try to get in like good galleries, like better galleries. Every single one were like, who are you, kid? You know, like, what should I show you? And I like see myself and be like, yeah, it's all right, but like, you're like irrelevant. And that's when I was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here.
But the painting.
But the painting, yeah, but that's such a LA or like New York thing too.
Dude, that's anywhere.
It's
like,
anywhere. It's the name game.
You don't matter if
as long as you.
Someone could bring them crap and it's their name.
It's their name. It's like, yeah. So I think that's what's really cool about y'all is like, dude, you didn't go to LA, like you didn't have to like search it out or whatever. Like y'all got something special. Like came to you. And that's so unique, dude. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you were talking, it's like it was a perspective deal for me, because there's some, there's one content creator, I guess you could call her. She's got a podcast that I have been following for a while. You know, Nikki Howard and
oh yeah, Sydney Mailer.
Sydney Mailer.
Sorry Mom podcast.
Yeah, Sorry Mom podcast. And I was like, anyways, turns out you knew him. And we just got to talking about how they create content, you know, and how sometimes like they're all talented, obviously, Otherwise, number one, we wouldn't be following them. Number two, they wouldn't have been out there as long as they are. But sometimes they have challenges that we don't because, like, all they literally have is their mind to work with, and a backyard or a living room. Sometimes Trevor Wallace goes to the park, and so, like, that's why I got a lot of respect for them, because we, for instance, Carl
They're killing
Wayne,
it and they don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
And then we have Carl Wayne fall in our lap.
We have Carl Wayne get his head stuck in a panel, and then we got to rope him. We got to cut the panel,
Yeah.
and
Turn
all
the
of a
camera
sudden,
on.
like, this video, gets 200,000 views in 18 hours, which is good for us. We were excited, but, like, we didn't really. All we had to do was save him. Like, that was literally in
We
our
were gonna
backyard.
do that either way.
Yeah,
Either way, we got to do that.
We happened to turn the camera on.
We happen to have the camera, luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with them, the creative aspect is like, they're like sitting there like, I got an idea. This is what we're going to do. We got to execute it. Okay, we need to like gather like these materials and like,
Yes.
how are we going to pull this off? And like, who's going to let us shoot? And like, are we going to get in trouble if like this thing is in the background or like it's a whole other thing there.
Yeah. So, yeah, and what brought that up was, like, I realized he knew some of those people I follow, and I was like, man, the production value that they have. And that's whenever he said, because our production value doesn't always have to be so high, because
Doesn't have to
it's
be high
Carl
quality
Wayne.
because
Just get it.
The footage
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
That's gnarly. Just film it.
Yeah.
Use a flip phone.
Yeah.
And but whenever they've got to, that production value gives them a leg up, because it adds to the entertainment value. Anyway, I'm sure some of those folks follow me and they're like, how does this hillbilly have any followers? Like, what are they watching? But anyway,
It's cool, man. It's cool to see that perspective and that switch off and like, and I think that's like kind of one of the things that I love. Like, why I wanted to come out was because it's like, oh, I get to see like what these guys are doing, and
Yeah.
I've already seen like that stuff, and like just kind of going around and seeing different things. I'm like, man, y'all are killing it, dude. Like,
Man.
it's dope.
well, I appreciate that. I think what's dope is here we are just patting each other on the back. I'm dope. I'm hilarious. He's dope. He's got great art.
And you're hilarious.
And you're hilarious. Yeah, we're all funny. We're all artists.
I'll be funnier after I sip some more of this lean.
What'd you call it? Lean?
Lean. Yeah, we were
That
joking
purple
earlier.
drink.
That
Oh, is that
purple
what they
drink.
call it in L.A.?
No.
It's
no,
That's not what they.
No.
it's like
Lean
lean is
is-
like cough syrup.
Yeah.
I thought what's the purple stuff? Isn't that what one of
Lean,
them rappers?
it's
same thing.
Same thing.
Miami.
This is
Shout
what
out
he's
to
drinking.
Miami.
Yeah, he's drinking a caffeine drink. People, it's an energy drink. It's not actual, whatever.
Don't listen to him.
What were we talking about? I was about to. Oh. One thing that I've been like flirting with the idea of creating was like, so we got different. I call my different video series like different names. So like my vlog is called Rodeo Time. We put out a video called Just Ranching. It's on Mondays. It's literally like
How-tos.
how to ranch. Like, it's like how to tie a horn knot, how to
Ride a
dally,
horse.
how
Yeah.
to saddle your horse was the very first one. That's Mondays. Tuesdays is Rodeo Time. That's the vlog. Wednesdays is just rodeoing. It's rodeo tutorials. So some of them get really into the weeds on technical stuff. They're not, but that's YouTube. Sometimes people.
It's for
and
the
then
young up and comers.
Thursday is the podcast. On YouTube. We'll release the video version of the podcast, and then Friday is like our skits or sketches.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been flirting with adding in like a Saturday and call it bucket list bull riding, because I've been this, for some reason, like my whole life, cameras on or not, like people come to me as this guy to get on their first bull. Like I've probably helped like 25 people. That's not including the rodeo schools that Leroy and I have taught at. We help teach at rodeo schools. Like, I'm talking about just standalone random people, like football player at A&M, hockey player from Canada.
Dude, you almost had me today.
We almost had an artist from LA.
And I was like looking, and I was like, I got a mural coming up. I'm like looking at my
Your
hands. And how
digits?
she had it on the rope and tied. And I was like,
Hey, well, you're still in Winnebago.
dude, next time.
Next time.
Next
Yeah.
time. I got a specific text that was like, "Don't you dare!"
Okay.
And I was like, "All right, I won't, I won't."
So I think like that would be one day, like that might be our connection to that world.
Dude,
You know, like where like
you'll be like
a Theo Vaughn type person.
You'll be like Travis Pastrana on Nitro Circus, just getting
Right.
everybody to do backflips
Yes.
on motorcycles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you'll
We
be
need-
getting everybody on a bull.
The only difference is we don't have a foam pit, people.
Yeah, you get bucked off, you're going in the dirt.
Yeah. But we got
We'll
some
bring some more
pretty.
dirt in.
We're
Yeah.
pretty good about getting people.
On the right stock.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to put anybody on anything that's going to hurt them.
Yeah.
Unless,
Badly.
yeah.
Yeah. But unless they're artists, yeah, like we
Yeah.
like to treat them differently.
We'll bring in the rank stuff.
That might be Winnebago's one. This is a long way to go from L.A. to get on a bull.
Dude, but
Flight's
We got-
not that long.
We got Winnebago International Airport here in town.
That's true.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
opened up that airport.
are y'all gonna have like the arena of dreams? If you build it, they will come. If you buck it, they will
That's
come.
what we got. We call it the beaches. The beaches of Winnebago.
Yeah.
So get your sunscreen on, boys. It's gonna be a hot one on the beach.
Bring your floaties.
It
Bring
was
your-
today. It was hot. It got hot today.
It did get hot today.
Sticky.
Yeah.
So if you ever hear of anybody, any of your LA friends are like, dude, I would love to ride a bull, which I'm sure that comes up in a lot
Yeah.
of conversations. Just tell them you know a guy. You don't even have to say it's a friend of a
yeah.
friend.
Dude, no, this is my friend.
Yeah.
I know him.
Wait,
Yeah.
you talking about first layer friend? Yeah, this is first layer.
No, I actually know this fool.
I have
Yeah.
his phone number.
Slept in his house.
Whoa.
One time he even DM'd Theo Vaughn.
His mom's.
Dude, we were talking, and I was like, dude, I gotta text Nikki because I was like,
Yeah.
Nikki and Sydney would have a blast out
Dude,
here.
that made
They would
my
be
day when you-
hilarious.
I don't know.
like.
They would really have to. They're both like so like pretty, and
Get some helmets.
now they both are like, you can tell they're both like athletic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they couldn't. I would just be so. They would. I'm not gonna ask them to get on a bull.
Yeah.
They would have to ask me.
Yeah. Right.
Because
man.
I would be. That's like
A day of drills before they could even get on. And
Yeah.
just be terrified to get them hurt.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki could beat me up probably.
I bet they could both do it, though.
Sydney, she could hurt somebody.
It's like never quit. It's like you're gonna.
Exactly. She's
You're gonna start and you're not gonna stop.
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah.
That's
And,
what
like,
it takes to ride bulls.
Dude, they have it, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. Nikki would be like, she would do it because she's like, I mean, she works out like none other.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anybody like man or woman work out that much, but like she's jacked and she's dope. But like, so she would do it, and every single time it would be hilarious. Like she's so funny, dude. They both are.
Dude, is LA like that? Just crawling with talent?
Yes, dude. That's one of the reasons. Whenever I went out there, even like, I kind of had like a style. I knew what I was gonna do in the future. I sat on the style that I wanted to paint like kind of for the rest of my life, and I didn't go like full into that because I knew if I did and I didn't have a name, somebody would take it. But whenever I went out to LA and I was kind of like meeting all of these like kind of like personal childhood like artist heroes of mine, I was like, oh man. And then you see their work in person, whatever's like, I gotta up my game. I had to be like, all right, so where I thought I was good, I was like a big fish in a little pond, like the fishbowl just got bigger. I gotta grow to
Yeah.
the size of that. Like I gotta like up it.
Yes.
And so like that was really, really big motivation. And it's like that with everything, man.
Right.
Like even on Instagram now, dude, or like social media, you get on there and you see some kid that's like 20 times better than you with like 5 followers, and you know that they're like working at McDonald's or something crap, and you're like, how do you even like, but
Yeah.
they just haven't got there yet.
Right.
Like, for whatever reason.
Not in front of the right people.
Not in front of the right people or like the right circles or whatever. And in LA, like everybody's just super talented, like super funny. You can go into like a comedy show and see somebody you've never heard of that just kills it, and you're like, wow, I've never heard of that person. And then sure enough, like 6 months, a year goes by and you start seeing them like
Yeah.
pop up more
Yeah.
and more, and it's like,
See, I feel that's how I would be like if I went to LA. Like, I'd be like, it would just, you would constantly feel challenged.
constantly.
And
it messes with your ego, because whenever you're at that spot where you're like, oh man, we're doing really good, and then you just like look to your left and you're like, all right, I got some work to do, because you see somebody that's like so much like
I usually don't have an ego problem.
Oh, I didn't mean to laugh.
It might be a problem, but it's not like
a
it's not like a problem like I don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I want to get you guys out there. We'll have fun.
Hopefully it's before everybody moves, man.
You're gonna get out there.
Everybody's gone.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna name off 7 people, and you're like, they're all gone.
You think we can hang out with Dre while we're out there? You know, a guy.
Yeah, you said
Let me make some phone calls.
Yeah.
about 8 phone calls.
You beat me by 2 seconds. But yeah, we're gonna show up like Will Smith and I Am Legend, just like crickets.
Hello.
Was that in L.A.?
I think it's
that was
New York.
New
Yeah.
York.
Freaking love that movie.
Me too, dude.
I love any of those movies where they sacrifice at the end.
Sacrifice.
You know what I'm talking about? When he goes to the
like
he
satanic
goes,
stuff.
No.
Oh. I was like, man, you just got real dark. All right, I'm with you.
He gets that freaking grenade, and
Yep.
he runs into that. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert.
Gran Torino is another one.
I love Gran
Armageddon. That's old school
Man.
sacrifice.
That is cool.
That's
Gladiator, kind of.
Space Cowboys. You brought that up, but they do that.
Yep.
Space
Yep.
Cowboys
Tommy
is
Lee
one of them.
Jones. Yep.
That's my dog. Who? What else? What
You
other
know
movies?
a guy that knows him, don't you?
I know a guy
That's
who
met him.
who stayed in a hotel room once with a guy who had met him.
Oh,
What other movies?
I forget that he is Captain Call.
dude, right?
I like him, and like he does not look like Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. Like Captain
so
Cole, like
young.
they're like two different people
Yeah.
to me.
Oh man, he was it No Country for Old Men?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a weird movie.
that was a weird movie, man.
the
That's-
ending of that was so weird.
I can't
Like,
even remember.
just
the
a
ending.
random wreck, and then he walks away with a broken arm.
The weird guy with the weird
The
haircut?
bad guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I don't remember that, but
It was like he was
Chick
just like a
gives him a
demented
shirt.
Mo from the Three Stooges. I couldn't get past
yeah,
that in
the
my
hair,
head. Yeah.
like it was like a bowl cut
was
and his
odd.
bangs,
It
and
was like whenever he's gonna kill somebody, I was like, I think he's gonna poke him in the eye first.
Captain Insano shows
Yeah.
no mercy.
What celebrities have you ran into out there?
Dude,
Yeah, who do you know?
oh man, I can't say.
Denzel.
No.
Have you seen Denzel?
Dude, if I met Denzel,
Into the microphone, please.
I would have to point at the table because that's what he does in every movie. Like,
Dude,
he's a personal hero. Like I
I
love
love
Denzel.
Denzel.
No, but
Will
I-
Smith.
Oh man,
Have you met
he's-
Will Smith?
I haven't met Will Smith.
Dude, you haven't met Will Smith.
I know, dude, and I saw a guy paint a huge portrait of him in Philly, and I was so jealous. I'm not even gonna front. I
Yeah.
never heard of the dude, but I was like, that's like a pretty legit portrait, and it's of Will Smith, and I hate you.
Kevin Hart.
No,
Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife. Have you seen
I
her?
can't talk about that. No, I wish. Man, she's so
Why am
talented.
I naming the artist? Why don't you just tell us something?
Dude, like LA is super weird, because you'll just like kind of see people, or like you'll know people, or like I had a friend that was married to a celebrity, and like we'd like hang out at his house, and like kind of random people would come through, and it was like the biggest one for me, and I can't remember the dude's name because I'm a terrible person, and I'm terrible with names. But it was he's like the villain in every movie. He was the villain in Count of Monte Cristo. He has like a deep, raspy voice. And he was the villain in like the Three Musketeers, like the Disney movie, the old Robin Hood with
yeah.
Kevin Costner, the dude with the eye patch. Like,
Yes, I know exactly
dude,
what you're talking
and
about.
like I don't think any of my other friends or even you guys would know who this guy was.
He has like long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, but like we hung out with him one night just randomly. Like he was over at a friend's house, and I was sitting there just like fangirling out, like just playing.
You're in
cool.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
in
'cause
movies and stuff. But like that's not like the biggest person. That's
Yeah.
just like I'm a weirdo. So I was
Yeah.
like, this guy's sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like LA is super weird. Like one day I was at Chipotle, like whenever I first moved there, and like I look behind me and it's like Steve-O, you know, and I'm just like, you're crazy. You're a really cool dude. All right, I was like, and like he knew, like, you know, you look at somebody and they're like, hey, what's up? He was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But you don't want to like go up to him and be like, "Oh man, like
Yeah, like
You just gotta play it cool. You're like, hey,
well,
what's up?
and like you get so used to it that you don't really like. And I don't really get like really starstruck or like really like I don't care because I'm like it just doesn't like if I meet artists if I meet like not musicians but mainly just like painters like I meet like an artist and a painter I fangirl out.
Yeah.
Like all my friends and that's the best feeling whenever you can fangirl out on your best friends. You're like, yo, this dude he's a bad man, you know.
Yeah.
Like so you just kind of run into him.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the sparkly vampire Twilight dude's name, but I was somewhere and that dude was like in the elevator with me, and I just remember thinking like, I don't think I've ever seen a human that drunk before. You know what I mean? It was like it was kind of like cool.
Yeah.
Vampire guy. If I made that movie, I might have too. Nah, he's probably crying all the way to the bank. He's fine.
Yeah.
But you know like those like little interactions where you're like that was different. But that's not going to happen in Clovis, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
I saw Chuck Liddell in
Dude,
Las Vegas
That's
at
pretty cool.
the airport.
Yeah.
He's much taller in person than you'd think. I don't know. I thought he was just like a normal 6 foot tall guy.
Yeah.
It's like 6'3".
Really?
I felt like.
Hold my keys. I'm going to fight this dude. Dude, but you know, like the fun game that me and my family play is that like
Forrest Gump. The guy. What's the guy's name?
Tom Hanks.
No.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lieutenant Dan.
I don't know his real name.
I met him at a rodeo behind the
Did
chutes.
you really?
Yeah, me and Jacobs were in Mesquite, and he just walked up in between us, and we were like, what the heck? Lieutenant Dan, what are you doing?
He's got legs?
Got magic legs.
So we just turned and took a picture with him, and somebody commented on the picture and be like, are y'all holding him up?
Did you ask him when he was doing it?
He has a band, and he was
Oh.
playing after the rodeo.
Is he from Texas?
No, I don't know, but he was
Yeah.
playing at Mesquite. But I thought
That's
that was
cool.
fun. Like I didn't even know they were gonna have, a concert that night.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
Joker walks up on the back of the chutes. I was like, wait a second.
Seen, dude.
I mean, like Bronx are loaded. We're like standing there, and he just like walks in between us.
My favorite thing to do is to find like lookalikes, like not the celebrity, just somebody that looks like them, and then I get the picture with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
people are like,
Like on
"Uh,
Date Night. You seen that movie,
I
Date
don't think
Night?
so."
I seen it, but I don't remember it very well.
Where they're like that one couple, and that girl's like admits that she cheated on her husband or boyfriend, whatever.
Is it Cameron Diaz?
No.
No.
And
No, I've
he's
seen
like,
all her movies.
and he's like, and she's like, with Denzel Washington, or maybe it was like before they met or whatever.
Yeah.
And so finally, he's like, no way you met Denzel. And she shows this picture, and it's this big nose guy, like 5% of him looks like Denzel, and he just busted out laughing. And she thought she had this secret from her boyfriend that she had been with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
And it was just like some random guy.
dude.
Like that would be
awesome.
hilarious.
I seen John Stamos once.
No, you didn't.
I swear, at the Ryman in Nashville.
My
He
parents
was playing with
saw
the
him.
Beach Boys.
Dude, yes.
It was sweet.
I was at that concert.
My parents were.
Dude, that was like
Yeah.
my dad took me. We went to the CMAs, which kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. To be at the CMAs in person was terrible because it's all for TV, whatever. The next time we go to the Ryman, which is the old Grand Ole Opry, before they built the new one, and the Beach Boys were there, and I was like, man, this is, I don't know, like this, like the Beach Boys are cool, but they're like 80 now. This ain't gonna be that good.
Yeah.
Dude, it was tight. Like, Uncle Jesse comes out and starts shredding on guitar, and like, dude, this is just like watching an episode of Full House.
Dude, that's my parents. They were like, "Oh yeah, we saw the Beach Boys," and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. Like, when'd y'all do that? Where'd you go?" And they would tell me, and then they were like, "Yeah, John Stamos plays one." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
You know, like you freak out, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, that's so sick!" And I was like, "Oh, I should be excited for the Beach Boys, but I'm more excited for Uncle Jesse."
Isn't that mom going to prison?
Aunt Becky, I don't know her real name, but
She's going to jail for like 2 months.
Probably already
for
did it.
bribing, yeah.
Something
like
about
the
college.
Yeah, bribing
What?
the school. I don't
Driving
know.
to school.
To accept her daughter.
All right.
Might have just been a
was like-
headline.
Mm.
Anyway.
No, I definitely know she got in trouble.
I don't believe anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Until I
believe.
see her in the slammer.
Don't believe anything you hear, and only half of what you see. That's my bio, and that's my life. Yeah, whatever their celebrity. We met Warren Moon when he played for back when they were the Oilers. We were kids.
Yeah.
Remember that, Leroy?
Yeah.
Warren Moon.
Yeah, a giant man walked up to me in the bathroom and was like, "Hey man, that guy sitting next to y'all?" Yes, sir. Go meet him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, who's like the one celebrity though that like you would be like starstruck? Like I don't know.
John Wayne.
Dude,
think
I was
everybody
about
would
to say John Wayne.
Everybody would be extremely surprised to see
Yeah,
that.
I would be very struck if I saw him.
Dude, that was like my childhood hero. Like,
Man, I don't know. I was pretty jacked whenever Theo Von.
that's cool.
Dude, that's a funny man.
That
he's
that
a
was
big
pretty
deal.
cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But man, I've got like this obsession for I don't want to say recent, but with basketball. So like seeing some of those, like LeBron or Michael Jordan or any of those guys, that would be
man.
pretty neat.
That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be
dude.
pretty neat to sit down with Michael Jordan for a couple hours and like play cards with him or something.
Just as long as you don't win. You're going to take it personally like 10 years
No
from
kidding.
now.
Yeah, and I took that personally.
Dale Brisby said I couldn't ride a bull, and I took that personally.
And I took that personally. Ryan Reynolds, he seems cool. I talked about him.
I bet
said
that guy
him.
would be cool to hang out with.
Dude, that's a funny guy, too. I never really knew until, like recently because...
Deadpool?
Yeah, dude, I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet Zach Galifianakis would be hilarious.
Dude,
to
I don't
hang out
know,
with.
man.
I think that dude would be funny.
It could be, or it could be like,
And Will,
off,
like-
so off the wall.
Like Will Ferrell. I bet he would be funny.
I feel like those guys are those two dudes are really, really smart, and they can just like be messing with you so hard, and you not like.
So what? I bet it'd be hilarious.
Oh yeah, I bet it'd
Yeah.
be funny, but like,
It'd be the thing where, like, you get home that night and, like, the next day, and then you're like,
Oh,
I got it. He's messing
Yeah.
with me. Yeah.
Steve Carell would be funny.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
a talented dude, too.
Steve Carell.
But, like,
After watching Jim off The Office play some serious roles, like the Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
what was the...
That
was it
dude's
13 hours?
yeah,
I liked that movie.
About the
where him
Benghazi.
and
Roy.
him and Roy teamed up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Forget about paying.
Dude, the frickin' 24 hours, is that what it's called?
The TV show.
Yeah, with that he's in. Is that what it's called, 24 hours? What'd you call it?
There's a show called 24, but that's not.
The one with Jim.
13 hours.
13
No,
hours.
before that.
Jack
Ryan. Why did I
Jack
call it
Ryan.
24
I
hours?
don't know, man.
Shut up, Donnie.
Wasn't,
Hey, you better stop telling me that.
wasn't Harrison Ford Jack Ryan, too?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I only watched the first season.
I found out the other day, sent a video to George Strait.
What?
I think he's like watched some of my
Yeah,
videos.
GS,
Shut up.
like,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
he
Shout
loves
out to
us.
George.
Shout out to main man George.
Oh, that's cool,
Hey man,
dude.
George, everyone write some songs. Holler at me.
Hey, what was the
Our old
movie?
man was in Amarillo by Morning, by the way. There's 2 bareback riders. They filmed it in Houston.
Yeah.
And my old man is the one
Not
that
hung up.
doesn't get hung up. He's wearing a brown vest. There's 2 bareback riders. One gets hung up, the other
Yeah.
one rides. My old man's the one that rides. And I feel bad for whoever's dad it is that gets hung up because we always talk about him. But I'm sorry. It sucks that he got caught he's riding in Houston, so I'm sure he was a good bareback rider.
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short.
Dude,
Me and George Strait have something to talk about when we see each other.
I'm going to be like Mitch Hedberg. I'd be like, I wouldn't know what to say. So I'd be like, hey, George Strait, do you like toast? Cool, now get away from me. I don't have anything else to say. Like, I don't want to. Dude, but while we're just like talking about like TV shows, whatever, like I was thinking, I like restarted this series that I watched when I was a kid, and it just like shaped who I wanted to be. Do y'all remember the Young Riders?
No, sir.
No.
Oh man, y'all are missing out. It was what was the dude that was in No Country for Old Men, the main guy?
Tommy Lee Jones?
No, the younger dude. He
Oh.
was Thanos in the Marvel and like
Oh
individual.
yeah.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name.
All right,
but-
I
Shout out
picture
to
his
that
face.
dude. But it was Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin.
Okay.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, but it was him and a couple other people, but it was like an old TV show, and it was called the Young Riders. It was about like the Pony Express.
Oh, yeah.
It had like Wild Bill Hickok, and it had like all these kind of like Old West legends as like they like really young dudes. But the first episode, this dude, one of these kids like didn't have money to buy like this horse, and he walks down the street after he's like, the guy's like, this horse $25, you'll never have that. And then he sees a sign that's like, the last 3 minutes in the ring with this professional boxers, you get $25. And he just gets the crap beat out of him, but goes 3 rounds with this dude, walks back, hands this dude the money, and takes his paint horse. And I was like little kid whenever I saw this, and I was like, someday I will have a paint. Like,
Oh, bingo.
so I've wanted a black and white paint for as long as I can remember. In the TV show, it was a brown and white. It was a really pretty horse, but like I've always wanted that like black and white paint. And it's like, it's something that's like, whenever I was a kid, I thought I would have made it if I had like a trailer. I remember thinking, I will have made it and I'll be rich if I get a Stetson hat or like any sort of like nice, like resistol Stetson hat, black and white paint, and like a double wide. I was like, I'll be like set for that. And it's funny how your standards change when you get older.
I don't need to see your ID. I know you're from New Mexico. You've now proved it.
Orale, Holmes.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio. The movie with the bear. I always forget it. I know
Revenant.
Yeah.
John Hardy's in it.
I would love to talk to him
Tom.
about that movie. Like, he sinks down in that water, especially since I've been taking cold showers. Have you ever taken a cold shower?
Oh,
I'm sure you have, but like by choice.
You're going to
By
compare
choice.
that water to cold showers?
No, not at all. But every time I take a cold shower, I think about him, and I'm like, all right, if he can slide into that river, I can take this cold shower.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the mental aspect of it, shut up. I don't like him that much.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about, like, because, like, I heard Joe Rogan, like, he does a lot of things that, like, test his mental toughness. And we were on the wagon this spring, and we had to, like, bathe in this. The first week, it was so cold. Like, we're big jackets, borderline long johns.
Yeah.
But it's Texas, so in the afternoon, sometimes it warm up. Well, one day it didn't warm up. And we're out there, like, we got to bathe in this horse trough. And no matter how cold it was, I mean, the water's like borderline going to be ice. We still bathed, that day, especially with this mop on my head. Like, I'm not, much to a lot of people's disappointment, it's not a wig. Which you
Or
gotta,
is it?
You got to listen 40 minutes in on the podcast to hear that. But, or is it? Regardless, had to take a bath. Dip down in this water when it's like borderline freezing cold water, and no matter what, I still felt great after. Like,
Really?
laying in my teepee, like, it just made my whole body feel good.
Man.
And so I got home and I was
Because
like,
it can't really get much worse. So
maybe that's it. Maybe my physical.
My body felt great because I couldn't feel it.
Yeah. So now I just take, in the mornings, every morning, cold shower, no hot water.
Are you serious?
Cold, absolutely. I mean, just the cold knob only. For like the last, what's that been, 5 months?
probably.
Been a while.
That was
never
in
showed
early-
up about it.
Well, you guys tried it for a little bit.
I did it for a while. I'll still do it every now and then, but
So my question is though, is how long do your showers last?
not
Well,
as
in
long.
the evenings, I'll take a hot shower so that I can actually, bathe.
Yeah.
Because the cold showers don't. There for a while, like for the first week, I set a timer and it would be at least 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't know, 60 seconds.
Okay. So that's not like, it's like, whew, and then you're out of there.
Well, also, like, it's been summer, and so
Oh, dude, summer in Texas, I would cold water all day. Like I would just sit in that stuff. Y'all are crazy.
now we're getting into October. It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I don't
it-
have a heater in my house. Gonna have to talk to my landlord.
Do you need one?
Well, that's why I don't take cold showers.
Do you need a heater?
Not yet.
You've been wearing your jacket lately.
Because he doesn't have a heater in his house. He's always cold.
I think it's because he's a sissy.
Dude, you know what I've always wanted to try now that I'm just thinking about it? I've always wanted to do like the old like train robbery bandit thing where you like ride up on a horse and like
Jump into a
bomb
train?
out a train. Like,
Oh, graffiti one.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Rattle can cowboy.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, I was always like, man, that'd be so cool. I keep
How would you
dodging the microphone. Sorry.
get
guys.
your like reference point though? Like
Dude, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know.
that's
like, you
somebody
could
better
get,
have a
like,
smooth trot.
Yeah. Well, like I could get like the tag down, I think, but there's no way to like do like a big piece. So even if you like rode up on
Obviously.
a train yard, yeah, like we were talking about riding double. All right, Dale, I'm getting on the back. I'll hold on tight to you, snuggle up, and then I'll get a little piece.
We're gonna do a video where it's like the most serious cowboy, like good B-roll, slow music, but then like we all are riding double.
It's just the guy in the front and forward. and
We
then you
we
ride
drag
around.
calves double. Like maybe the guy in the front is roping, and then the guy in the back is like leading the horse, like reaching around. Anyways, I interrupted your. Well, it's almost just as make believe as what I just described.
Yeah,
Continue.
I was.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, that was it.
No, gotcha.
But yeah.
In my mind, though, I picture, just for a really cool Insta pic, you riding your horse while the train stopped and just sit there next to it so you can get the high spots.
There you go.
Oh man, if you
think
had a
if you're
good horse that
parked.
you could like stand on,
Oh, yeah.
stand on the saddle,
Would be a really cool picture.
Or just
we've
sitting.
never had that good of a horse.
Boone
Or
will
Boone,
stand there.
yeah.
Dude,
Boone will stand like a rock.
I had a good time on Boone today. He's
Yeah,
chill,
so
dude.
you ranched this morning.
I did.
How different was that than how you guys ranch?
Man, it was pretty different because we kind of do things like everything is so it's flat where I come from, man. Like I mean, there's like nothing for miles. So like just the terrain alone was pretty different. Y'all got the mesquite, y'all got some thorns, y'all got a little bit of like terrain. It reminds me a little bit of riding in northern New Mexico, like in the mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
But like where we're from, like we don't use horses that often.
Right.
Like my dad, he's like huge into like motocross. He rides like enduros. He races still. Like the dude is a beast. Like he's really good. So like we grew up, like whenever I was a lot younger, we used horses a lot. But then when we started getting older, like it was all like motorcycles, dirt bikes, like, and we just have been moving cattle on that. So like it's very different. But like I want to get you guys out there while we still have some calves. We're calling them pretty hard, so like we're gonna try to not have any in the wintertime, but you guys got to come out before then. We'll move some cattle on motorcycles.
Hey, talk about wintertime in New Mexico. That's different out there.
Dude, it's extremes, man. It gets like super cold in the winter, super hot in the summer. It could be like
It's a high desert, right?
yeah. Man, I'm probably wrong, but it's like 4,800 feet above sea level, something like that.
I bet that's right.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's a number.
One of those 4-digit numbers.
Yes. It's 4 digits,
Yeah.
around about
Ish.
ish.
What's the elevation of LA?
Oh, it's ocean, man. You got the ocean there, so it's like sea level. Or I mean, like obviously it's a little
Is
bit
it
above.
Is it? So I knew it was close, obviously, but is it? I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, like you go like Venice, Santa Monica, LA. I mean, the ocean's right there. So I don't know how. I mean, you have the hills and stuff too, and I don't know what the elevation's like.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
But I know I get a headache whenever I go from there to home because I gotta like adjust.
Oh yeah,
I get altitude
dude,
sickness
freaking
terrible.
I-40 coming back sucks.
There's nothing.
Well, just literally the road.
Oh yeah.
I have
That
had to
too.
replace 2 axles and trailers coming back.
Oh man.
Like I stop in Amarillo, get them replaced. Like literally change the whole axle.
That hurts.
I need a new axle from coming back from Vegas.
Man,
But one
and-
time I did a giveaway for a van, and it was a few years ago, and it was like such and such size order, you get entered in a drawing to win my rodeo van, and I was thinking like, I don't know, some bull rider in Sweetwater, Texas is gonna win, like Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
This woman in South California, like south of LA. And so I put this I say this woman, I forgot her name. I was going to say this young lady. Great gal, Jill. super cool lady. Like she had like baked me cookies when I got there. 20 hours there. I pulled this van on my flatbed trailer. 20 hours there. I slept in this ratty hotel for 6 hours. 20 hours back.
Oh,
it was
painful,
brutal,
dude. And as soon as you get into California, if you have a trailer, 55 speed limit. Like I don't know what I did. I didn't do it.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either. That's another story. But like, yeah, if you're pulling a trailer in California, it's like automatically like your speed limit's 55.
Dude, this might be random and you may have no idea what I'm talking about, but like I'm going through the desert where it was like sketchy, kind of like, and that was the main reason why I slept in the hotel. It's just because like I didn't want to go through this part of the world like at night, because like there was this parts, there'd be nothing on either side of the road, flat, and then there'd randomly like this little fenced in parking lot, shoes all over the fence.
What?
like where like people like meet or something. It was like it'd be like, it's kind of like a roadside park except super sketchy, and there was no hiding the sketchiness. Does that ring any bells?
Oh man, I think
Next time you drive and you like look out,
I'll be on a lookout.
Text
now.
me and just be like, because you know, like sometimes they throw
That's
like
what
shoes,
happened to my shoes.
shoes over a power line.
Yeah.
You know, like means like you're going into, you know, hood tendencies. Well, like this is like the fence all the way around, just shoes. And I was like, that must be super hood. You get inside there, but it'd be like
multiplied.
What kind of fence was it?
Just like the barbed wire fence.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
I was like picturing like a chain link.
yeah.
No.
Maybe
Or
it's
like a
the
picket
multi-shoe
fence.
ranch or something.
Because at first I was like, I would kind of need to stop and pee because I had been so long without seeing a town. And so I was like, oh, man, I could pull in right here. And then I saw that and I was like, I think I'll hold it. And I was in this flatbed too.
Oh, yeah.
Like right before. So like I get back and then like a month later, some gun, the clutch goes out. And I was like,
man.
dude, I'm telling you, going out there, I was nervous by myself.
Man.
And I have not seen Breaking Bad, but it looked like that.
This is the land of my people. This is New Mexico.
How accurate is Breaking Bad?
Dude, I mean, it's like any other TV show. There's parts that are like amplified. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like Hollywood. This is really it. But then there's like those little parts that it's just like, all right, they pretty much like nailed Albuquerque right there. Like that's like it.
So somebody came and spent some time in Albuquerque
Yeah.
and then went back and wrote it.
Dude, that was whenever I was graduating, I was going to like try to go to college. My parents were like, well, where do you want to go? And I was like, I don't know, because I'd never been anywhere. And like the two cities that I'd been to were like Albuquerque and Dallas.
Yeah.
And you go to Dallas, and I mean, if you go there in the summer, it's hot, but like smells like honeysuckles. It rains. There's like flowers. And then you go to Albuquerque, and it was just like a flashback in my mind. I like was in Dallas, and I'm like, well, what do you think? Flashback. I look at Dallas. There's like flowers and birds chirping. It's beautiful outside. And then flashback to Albuquerque, where I saw my first car on fire. Like driving down Central, I was like, Dallas sounds pretty good.
So you've seen a lot of people go out to LA to get their start. Leroy is a musician. He's got a lot of songs out. If I Don't Call, if you guys haven't looked up If I Don't Call and you follow me or Leroy, like, you got to check it out, If I Don't Call. What do you have any suggestions for him being here in Winnebago as far as like moving forward?
Dude, you know what's cool about especially like country or country music or whatever? Like, dude, you're in Texas. Like you're where it's at. Like, you know, whenever you hear like rappers, whatever, musicians being like, yo, I'm like what do you call it? I'm like the purest artist because I actually like live this. Dude, you're living it. You are that guy. Like you're huh?
That's a good point.
Gracias.
That's a good point.
It's true, dude. Like you go out there and like you hear like country musicians or like whatever, and it's like, where are you from? And they're like, oh, I'm from Canada, eh? And you're like, that's cool. I don't know what your life was like there, but like I'm pretty sure it wasn't what you guys are doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that's cool for me to see, because I'm like, dude, this is a real deal, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm working on an album in November.
I can't wait
So-
to hear it.
Pretty pumped about that.
You were playing a little bit earlier, and it was like, I felt it, dude. It was
Gracias.
awesome. I'm
Thanks.
excited.
And then
about
you
it.
got the guitar. And you said, anyways, here's Wonderwall.
That's right. So anyways,
So this
Here's
goes out
Wonderwall.
to so and so and so and so. Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the new album. That's gonna be neat. It's actually going to a real studio to do it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
How many
That one
songs
too.
total have you written or helped written? Like 25?
Around there, something like that. Not very many,
25,
but
30?
a lot of people. There's a lot of artists out there, like a lot of musicians that say you got to write 200 before you can write any that are worth listening to. I completely disagree, personally. Like my first one is probably going to be my best one, but no, it's not. I got more coming. I got some good stuff coming. But me and Carson Jeffrey were hanging out and we were talking, and he's like, "No, a good song's a good song. It doesn't matter if it's your
Right.
first one or your 200th song.
Yep.
Like you just have to know how to put it together and do all that." Which I am excited about. Carson is going to come in the studio and help me.
Yeah,
So-
wasn't Russell in junior high when he wrote 14 Miles from Home?
Yeah, he's in high school.
Never heard. I
Yeah,
did
junior
not
high
know
or
that
high
was his
school.
real name.
Red Shahan.
Yeah.
Sorry, probably shouldn't say Russell.
Yeah, he wrote that in high school, and then
Well, like some people, like very
Yeah.
few people call him that, but like if he's got Red on his Instagram, so I need to call him Red.
yeah, 14 Miles from Home. This is him telling me the story. They called him and they were like, "Hey, you know how to play the keyboard?" He's like, "Yeah, cool. We got a show in 2 weeks. You mind filling in for the guy?" And so he spent the 2 weeks learning how to play the keyboard.
I relate to that so hard. The same thing happened to me
Yeah,
my first
yeah.
gallery show in LA. A friend that I had met, I'd bought a print, and this was whenever I'd moved out to LA, and I was sleeping in the back seat of my truck because I didn't have a place to stay. And like I go in there, and the dude still has a hospital band. It was a print release at the gallery, and I was me and him, the other artist, Richard Oliver. Shout out to this dude, good guy. He was doing a print release, and I like didn't have much money. I was sleeping in the back of my pickup. It was like first time I went to LA, and I bought a print because I saw a hospital band on his wrist. And I was like, "Dude, what's up?" And he was like, "Oh, my wife just had a baby," and I was like, "You're gonna need this. Like, take my money." You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
bought a couple of prints, and they're like, "Hey, in my house," and like, he's such a talented guy. But anyways, fast forward, he calls me like a year later after I just got a place to live, and he's like, "Hey man, the other artist that was in this known gallery show with me can't do it. They dropped out. Is there any way you have 10 to 12 paintings that you could like put in this show with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, of course. I'm looking at them right now." And then I was just like hung up. He was like, "Dope. Like, here's the date of the show, whatever." I hang up, and then I'm like, "Crap, I gotta paint like 10 to 12 paintings in 2 weeks." And it was like it was the same that
Yeah.
2 week.
You're not going to want to
That's
touch
awesome.
these.
Yeah. Whenever you hang those, could
They
you
have a
just-
glisten to them. Yeah, that they're still wet, buddy.
But yeah, dude, it's and that's that spirit, dude, where it's like I don't know, that old school mentality of like, if I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna learn it, or if like I don't have this, I'm gonna like do it, because that's like how hungry you are. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after we set the dates, like I know of 8 of the songs that I know for sure I want on the album. But I want to do a 12 song. I don't know how many are going to be on it yet, but I want to try to do 12. And I was talking to Carson about it, and he goes, "Oh, we can write a couple in the studio while we're doing it. Like, we can get it done."
Yeah. That was Donnie when he started filming for me.
Yeah.
He had filmed and edited to completion one video.
Yeah, it was for
Dang,
me. wasn't
really?
it?
One. No, it was
No,
me.
yeah.
It was for me. But it was like a
That
test.
one too. Yeah.
He had edited like, what do you think? 8 videos, 10, or
I
maybe
don't
maybe a
know.
dozen.
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
He had edited like some old footage, during the spring when nobody could go anywhere. He had edited like 12, but he had only filmed and edited one. It's like, all right, you ready?
I guess so.
Look how far you've come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome now.
Do you have, so you obviously enjoy it to
Yeah.
a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I asked him this morning. I was like, "Do you enjoy your job?" He was like, "Yeah." Did you think I was gonna fire you?
No, I didn't think you were gonna fire me, but I was like, "Where are you going with this?" Like, I hate having deep conversations.
Because we finally got a day off, and he was. Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to have a deep conversation. I was just trying to tell you, like, we don't get to take the next 2 days off.
Yeah.
These are our days off filming, but we can't take them off. We got to film.
So how'd that make you feel, Donnie?
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going.
I
with
was
it.
glad you asked.
Okay.
It felt good to be asked.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it, but just ask me, you know.
Do I sometimes not?
No.
Hey, man,
No.
come over.
No.
Bring the camera.
Like, are you saying that because sometimes I don't ask?
No, that's not what I meant. I like my job. Please don't make me go home. There's nothing for me there.
Go back to Tendon Bar,
Oh, shoot.
living in
man.
Missouri. So, anyways, before I was going there, like, do you feel like? I guess Leroy's talking about playing guitar. He's talking about painting. I'm the greatest sport rider of all time. Obviously, I think your bronc riding is your thing, right? How far down is film and edit?
Right
Okay,
now it's
let's say bronc riding's a 10 on the passion level.
Yeah, sir.
Where's film and editing?
Man, it's up there right now too because it's like a means to be able to continue. Like, it's a pathway that allows me to do a lot of stuff that.
Yeah, but you kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've always enjoyed videoing. Like, I
Yeah.
never had a camera or nothing like that, especially when I was in high school. When I was a little younger, I had camera, and I would film stuff, just stupid stuff, make videos with my cousins and stuff all the time.
See, I didn't know that.
And that was fun. And, like, dude, we had this old school camera. You put it on your shoulder and, like, had the videotape in it.
Oh
man.
Like the full
Like the
on
VHS?
VHS.
No, it was the little
of the
one,
little
and
ones?
you put it in the full on VHS to watch it on your VCR. And man, when we were real young, the videos were pretty stupid. But as we got older, like, there was more sketches and skits in it and stuff like that. And, like, man, we would do, like, whenever there was a stunt in the we would, like, pause it, stop the recording right before, like, the stunt would happen, and then we'd take all our our clothes and put it on a pillow or something like that, and, like, throw it across the room so it landed, like, behind something where you couldn't see, and then stop it again, and then start it, and, like, as soon as, like, you start again, you pop up, you're like, ow!
Those good special
We should
effects.
do one of those.
Yeah, dude, it was so much fun.
We should do one of those, like
Yeah.
riding bulls.
I was about to say, that's my first bull ride, just a pillow
Yeah,
person.
you nod your head, and we start to open the gate, and we stop, and then we put all this stuff on side, or, like, switch, like, put somebody else on there.
New
Like,
Mexico bad boy.
Yeah,
But man, I
that
always
would be funny.
I always wanted to film duck hunting. Like, I started watching the Duckman, which is the Duck Commander videos. Like, they started back in the 70s, and I was like, man, I could do that. Like, I could film. And my family and stuff, they're such characters. Like, people would look like, but they don't like to be filmed. Like my uncles and stuff like that. But I always wanted to do it, man. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Well, now you're doing it.
yeah, now I'm doing it.
So what number? Bronc riding's a 10.
I don't
Is
know,
it like a
man.
7?
Yeah, probably. I feel
Yeah.
like a 7's pretty high.
I mean, there's no wrong answer. I obviously know why you're here. So, like,
I mean, like Craig said, there's days where you're like, if you're meant to be an astronaut, you know, there's some days you're like, I don't know if I want to be an astronaut, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah,
Get a little too close to the sun.
yeah.
You know,
But
your power goes out.
All in all,
Apollo 13.
I don't
I
feel
don't want to be an astronaut anymore.
all in all, I don't know. I have no idea what else I would be doing if I wasn't doing this.
But I feel that because, like, painting's the same way. Like, there's, like, I love it, like, with all my heart. Like, I'm super passionate about it, whatever. But then there's, like, some days where it's like, oh, man, I have to paint, like, this fabric or this lace. And it's, like, technical and it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's like a means to an end to, like,
Yeah.
the finished product. And it's just, it takes, like, 5 times longer than it's supposed to. You kind of suffer through it. And then you, like, move on to something else and whatever. Then you go back and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah,
Like, it
absolutely.
looks good. You know, like,
And there's horses like that. And this goes with bronc riding. Like, there's horses you're like, man, I don't know if I want to get on this horse today. Like, you know what I mean? This horse is kind of a bad witch. And you're like, screw it. And then you get on her and You may not ride her, but you like start moving your feet a little bit. You mark her out good, and it's like, man, I'm glad I got on that horse.
Yes,
Like
100%.
Like it's like you're glad to have gotten on. You're not necessarily glad
Yeah.
to be getting on.
We lost camera 2.
Mayday, mayday.
The SD card ran out,
It's just of us.
so now they're just watching. They're watching us, but they can hear you.
That's cool.
Dude, there's so many, and what happens is like those get the better you get,
Yeah.
those get fewer.
Yes, and
So-
I've already like I used to feel like that about. I really noticed it with bull riding before I started getting on horses. Like, the first time I ever got on 511, I was scared to death. Like, didn't
Yeah.
sleep hardly the night before. I knew I was getting on this bull. And looking back, it's like stupid because he's a duck spinner, not
Yeah.
even just flat. Like, and it was the same way when I started getting on brisket and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh! And then you get on this horse and you start making rides on him, and then it's the next one and the next one.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. Like,
What's the scaredest? Like the most nervous? Yeah, scared isn't a right word because that's like a whole other kind of like intestinal fortitude
Yes,
where
sir.
you're just like, all right, I'm doing this no
Yeah.
matter what I feel.
Yeah.
But like, which one you get on? You know, when you're a little shaky and you're like,
Man,
your
there's.
adrenaline's going. It's
Yeah.
like this could be bad.
I've gotten wrecked out a few times that were like pretty decent, and like the time coming back after those are probably the scariest. Like,
You talking about bronc riding?
yeah,
You were probably more scared for bulls though.
yeah, definitely.
He used to get like his first 10 bulls.
But that-
he got
that's-
hung up to.
But that
just
wasn't even like
drag.
scary to me. Like being hung up to him wasn't like. It's like preparation. I don't know. Like when I was getting ready to get on him, that's when I was scared. But once I crawled down on them, like and was out there on them,
That's such a good thing. That means you're a fighter.
like
That's a good sign.
it's different. Like once you're in it, you can't be scared. I don't feel like. But
What's the most scared you've been, Leroy?
Man, I don't know. Heights scare me.
Bronc riding wise.
Bronc riding wise, not scared at all, but just nervous for the outcome. I got on an Eliminator horse at Fort Worth, and I hadn't been on very many Eliminators at all. And I let my nerves get the best of me, missed my mark out, and then like halfway out there, I'm like, I can ride this horse.
Yeah.
And as soon as I had that thought, I got thrown higher than I've ever been thrown.
Landed on your
And
tailbone
landed
too.
on- broke my tailbone.
no.
And it was one of those ones where like stands are packed. It's an evening perf at Fort Worth, and you know how like everybody, you can hear people talking, you can hear the crowd a little bit while you're riding and stuff, and like the crowd, everybody was excited, you could hear it, and then as soon as I hit the ground, everyone in that place went,
So for like LA street art world or whatever, for like my people, like explain what an Eliminator horse is.
So, like the horses we have here, they're just like jump kickers, just good to get on. Eliminator is one they just buck way harder, and they have some moves in them. They'll go left to right, or just the way they buck. It's just really hard to ride.
That's
At-
what I wanted to explain.
At the NFR, it's 10 days,
Mm-hmm.
and when a horse goes there, or a bull, they have 2 outs. So there's 5 pins twice. What the heck? Is there a baby in the warehouse? Sounds like a baby. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so there's 5 pins. There's
It's probably mine. I'm still trying to figure out who the mother is.
souped up hoppers, semi-eliminators, eliminators, and then the TV pin.
Okay.
And then, so like the eliminators are the hardest to ride out of the 5 pins.
15 guys in there, like if 6 guys cover,
Yeah.
like that's a
You're
good
g-
night.
The eliminator night is typically the night where you'll have the most buck-offs. And they're kind of those horses that Donnie's talking about. It's like, it's more enjoyable to have ridden them rather than to ride them. All the other pins, a lot of times it's enjoyable to actually ride them.
Yeah.
Like there's just different levels of buck in animals. And some of them are easier to ride. Some of them are like the intern that got on today in preparation for the finals. That was an easy to ride bucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody that's going to come to my house and get on their first bull, they're going to get on something that's pretty easy to ride.
Yeah.
And but there's some that are out there that they buck harder, faster, stronger. They'll get in the air and then they like drop. They have drop and it like jerks you back down and then they swap. Anyway.
That's
But-
what like, cause like I forget like talking to you guys and like going through this stuff or whatever, and then I like realize like who my people are, and I'm like, this is a whole other language, dude. Like this is like something that's so foreign.
Yeah.
And I think that's why like I love doing this with you guys, because it's such like a cross pollination of like I said, like street art, graffiti, spray
Yeah.
paint. Like if you look at the backgrounds behind it, it's so different.
Yeah.
Like it's always been considered like an urban thing. And for me growing up, it was like we'd be on a horse, like a train would go by, because there's like railroad tracks, like whatever. Train would go by, and for me it was like, oh, dope throwy. You know, like that was a sick piece. Oh, like, oh, that was so and so's piece out of like Chicago or like LA, and I'd like see these riders come through, and the two worlds were combined. But I have to check myself on stuff like this,
Because whoever put that on there probably wasn't on a horse.
they were not on a horse. Yeah, yeah. So like I have to be like, I'm like listening to it and I'm like, oh, that's sick. And then I have to like think about it. I'm like 99% of the people that like enjoy like where I come from, or like the street art aspect, they don't even understand. Like it's like, you know, like I don't golf. I've never golfed, and whenever I turn golf on, I like see somebody make a crazy shot. I'm like, man, that was nuts. But then they go into like, oh, we're like 8th birdie par, like whatever, you know, with the golf talk, and I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I just, it's important for me to kind of like every once in a while be like, all right, explain what that is for like, you know, the people that aren't in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this, though.
That's what we should do, is make like a glossary for
Glossary of terms.
a glossary of terms for all the
Dude,
rodeo
the
terms.
dictionary.
Yeah, I've dealt with some people in film, and like trying to explain to them various aspects of ranching, and they might say, "What if we do this or this?" And I'm like, "Man, that does not sound like something we should do." And then, anyways, my eyes were open to the communication barriers.
Yeah.
It's like I just take for granted like some of the things I know about this world and the glossary of terms that are in my head, and like
yeah. Lost in
of
translation.
course people that grew up in LA are not going to know this glossary of terms, and
Yeah.
they don't mean what they're saying. They're just
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
quickly tell me something, and I'm like taking it for what. Anyways,
Yeah, the Eliminator horse is like, I mean, it sounds wicked. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of get it, but it's like, okay, but you got to, like, go into that so they understand, like
yeah, that
what
didn't even cross
level.
my mind that we
Right.
needed to explain that to you.
But
Didn't even
that's-
cross my mind.
But that's the coolest thing of, like,
Or not
bringing,
you, but anybody.
Yeah, but, like, bringing these two things together is it's like you get to, like, introduce something into a world that technically hasn't ever been done.
Right.
Or, I mean, maybe it has and I just don't know it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of musicians doing it now, like the crossovers with like the DJs and like the country guys.
You're talking about like Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus. I feel like
instant classic.
those two, like, they started something. Like,
Yeah,
those two started a crossover that.
Yeah, you see like Diplo, and I can't remember what country guy did a song with, or Post Malone's a really great example because he's actually doing it okay. You know, like the dude is like a talented musician.
Dude,
It's like,
yeah, he's so talented.
He's so
I
good.
think he's got an appreciation for this world that some people may not have, that
Yeah.
are typically in his position.
Yeah, I
Like, I think he's
Dang
got
sure
like
for
some.
country music.
I think he's low key like a fan of
I think
this
he comes
lifestyle.
from a small town.
I think he's from like, is it? It's not Fort Worth. It's like outside of Dallas.
I don't know if
somewhere.
he's from Texas, but I think he's
I
from.
think he's from. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, like the poster on my wall, you know, in my bathroom doesn't say that about him.
Yeah.
I'm just- no, I'm just. I don't have
No,
that.
It is cool though. Like if you watch Post Malone's Instagram and stuff, he'll get a guitar out and sing a country
Yeah,
song. Or
and it's
Yeah.
sick. Like,
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's really neat.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty good singing voice when
Yeah.
it comes to doing country, and well, all of it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
he's doing well.
And then and then you got guys like
You probably think that you are better now, better now.
I'm not-
You only say that 'cause I'm not around, not around. Sorry.
just trying to harmonize with you on the end of that.
Mm.
I don't think it worked. But yeah, like a lot of the musicians are doing it, and like that's also like one of the things where I was like, man, why do I keep this like under wraps? It's like I'm like ashamed of my background.
Do you feel good now that this is kind of like
it's I feel so liberated.
Liberated. Such a good word.
No, but because it's people like to kind of think of you in their like little box, and if you get out of that, then it's
I imagine, especially with artists. I bet this heavy, like 100%. There's a box you got to fit in.
Oh yeah, it's like, and there's like a term for all of it, like that glossary of terms. It's like, oh, are you a part of the new contemporary art movement, or are you like lowbrow, or are you highbrow?
Bro,
fine
I
art
grew up riding horses and dirt bikes, painting train cars.
Yeah,
in New Mexico, and now I live in LA. That's my box.
That's it. It's a big box.
Yeah, yeah. Our box is still in Winnebago. Man, I don't know if I could, because I've always it's like in the back of my mind, like, what if there was a movie? I mean, we got a movie script. We do have a script.
Yeah.
Riding Bulls, Punching Fools: The Adventures of Dale Brisby. I'll tell you about it later. We talked about the actors and actresses that would play us if we didn't play ourselves.
Ooh.
Yeah,
dude,
that's a fun game to play.
Oh my gosh, that's one of I have like 3 or 4 questions that I ask everybody, of like, like what actor, actress would you pick to play yourself in a movie about yourself?
I'd see Johnny Depp for you.
I
For the
really
look,
appreciate
yeah.
that. Man, like if I was picking for myself though, I'd be like Morgan Freeman. You know what I mean? Like hands down, or Anthony Hopkins. You know what I mean? But like I'll take J Depp. I'll take J Depp. What
Oh man.
What do you?
We said Danny McBride for him.
Yeah, well, if he was to if we had to get somebody to be Leroy.
Yeah, definitely not Danny
If
McBride.
if it's a funny movie, Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
But if it's just like a serious movie about my life, Russell Crowe.
Ooh, that's a good one, man.
Like if it's like Leroy's, biography movie kind of deal.
Yeah, biopic.
Yeah, it'd be Russell Crowe.
Yeah. What were we talking about? At some point, Katie Kaufman would have a role.
Yeah.
She'd be the villain in our movie.
Oh, she'd be your girlfriend in the opening that like just tears you down.
Yeah.
Like is mean to you, beats you.
Yeah, dude,
you're never gonna make it, Dale.
Tom Cruise
Give it
as
up.
Dale looks back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're never gonna make it, Dale. That was a really good impersonation of Katie Kaufman.
Well, thank you.
Who do you got, Donnie?
world.
For those of
Can't do it
you
again.
out there that don't know, well, for all of you out there, you probably don't know Katie Kaufman.
I'm
it's
gonna be real.
It's my real ex-girlfriend, and I told her, I said, it's not me, it's you. And yeah, so she puts the hot in psychotic. So I'll tell you that. But really good. I think she she did the sideline interviews at what's that amateur association down south on the CPRA finals. She would go at the AMI finals. So she does that, the sideline interviews there. But and now she works construction.
She's out there with a jackhammer.
And her poor husband,
Yeah, poor
Elliot Blair.
Elliot, man.
He and I, we text about 3 times a week.
I don't even know Katie. I can't really be saying this stuff. She's gonna come after me. I don't want that because she's scary.
Yeah, so she's going to be Dale's. In the movie, I got a movie script. It's Riding Bulls, Punching Fools: The Adventures of Dale Brisby. Me and a friend, Logan West, wrote it. And
I have the
anyways,
best parts in the movie.
she's going to be my ex-girlfriend at the beginning. How'd you say it, Donnie?
You're never gonna make it, Dale.
Who would play me?
Tom
thought
Cruise.
Kevin Costner.
No.
Not Kevin Costner.
Kevin
I
Matthew
will-
McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey would do a good
Or
Dale Brisby.
what else did we say?
You said Zach
Leonardo
Galifianakis.
DiCaprio, maybe. Zach Galifianakis.
I just don't see
I don't
that.
see it either.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell maybe just because he
He's
did
just so
Talladega
tall.
Nights.
He's
and,
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Danny McBride would be Leroy. That's a
Yeah.
pretty good fit.
If for that movie script, I think yeah.
Definitely.
Who would you be? Or who would be you?
You said Zac Efron, but I was
yeah, redheaded, really short Zac Efron.
Dude, who's the dude and
You're such a douche.
who's the dude in Magic Mike?
Uh,
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Tatum. That's
No, Channing Tatum's like, if we're going on physique, so it would either be like John Cena would play me, possibly The Rock, Mark Wahlberg.
No, he's
That's who we
saying-
talked about.
He's saying Channing Tatum for
Hey, I
Donnie.
think I got a bull for you to ride.
And Morgan Freeman is going to narrate the movie.
That's who I said I wanted to be me.
You got a role in this movie?
No, he's going to narrate it. Yeah, 'cause
You're
he's-
gonna
he'd be
narrate it.
Yeah, he'd be Morgan Freeman.
You would be the Morgan Freeman version of.
Oh,
Give
then
me
I
a
could kinda-
narration.
I could kind of come in and out of scenes, like.
Give me a narration. What would you start it off for us?
Oh man, I can't. I'm better with Marky Mark.
Dude, this movie is epic, and one day it's going to come out.
I'm just thinking. of
Pedro's got a role. Pedro's got to play himself though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I got a role for Pedro. I can't divulge too much because this is coming out one day, people. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't get the image of Marky Mark as you, and he gets on a bull, and and he like gets on, and it kind of like starts making some like dubstep noise, and you're like, I think we found a Terminator. Like I got this visual picture now that it's like, it's ruined forever for me.
Yeah.
But
Golly. That's
oh man,
that's going to be a classic, an instant classic.
yeah.
Who
I
wants-
can't wait to see it.
What would we pay Katie?
I don't know, man.
Whatever
like
it is,
the
it's-
defamation lawsuit or
Defamation.
She
Whatever it
should
is,
have
it's
vested
got to be
information.
more than she's making at her construction job.
She should pay you. to be in
Yeah,
the movie.
exactly, Katie. Yeah. Her husband's a scout for the Texas Rangers.
He was on the show.
like the baseball team or like
No, like
the
law enforcement. He like goes out and
finds like the
yeah.
baddest MFers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The baseball team. Yeah, definitely the baseball team. Yeah, he comes in ranches with us occasionally. We try to invite him when she's not around. She's really lame.
Jesus.
She's a nice lady.
Anyway,
Yeah, I love that girl.
Great
I don't
girl.
know. Great girl.
Great girl.
Great girl though. Yeah,
Oh,
great
man.
girl though. Anyway,
I can see McConaughey. I'm excited for this movie, dude.
he's already played a bull rider.
That's what I'm like.
That was a little different storyline.
Well, yeah, dude, that was some acting.
Yeah.
Dude, that was painful though, cause like I grew up with like 20 of that. Like I know like 20
Yeah,
guys exactly.
for real.
You guys probably do, and it was like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch this movie.
Dude, there's some of those guys in Winnebago.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he killed it. That's kind of comparable to Leonardo in
That's
The Revenant.
dedication. Like losing
Yes.
all that weight.
Yeah.
Like, that had to
Dude.
be hard.
The Revenant, I heard it was based on a true story.
It was very loosely based.
Yeah, because I was like watching it and I was like, this thing looks dope. Acting's amazing. Filmography, beautiful, beautiful scenery. Like, so cool. And I was like, this is the biggest load of crap.
Dude, I agree.
He like rides over a cliff, like whatever. But like, I don't know. I like the movie though.
He might, I don't know, he might be one of the greatest actors, like, of our.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hate on that.
Dude, that scene from Wolf of Wall Street where he like crawls down those stairs, like, that, that's incredible.
We got to find a role for him in the movie.
yeah. Maybe like, I don't know, like a Cherokee Jack.
He could be.
kind of
He'd
character.
do a really good. The guy that I don't want to tell too much, but in the movie, the guy that's out to get you,
Yeah.
he'd be a really good that.
Dude, no. Craig Cameron
Oh yeah.
is playing that role. Oh, but he's got a guy that works for him.
Yeah.
So Craig Cameron, and Craig's name in the movie is Craig.
Craig Cameron, horse trainer?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
He is so funny. Do you not see Christopher Walken? Like he
No.
looks
Yeah.
and sounds like Christopher Walken. Craig
yeah,
Cameron.
Yeah, maybe a little. But the hair, like Christopher Walken's always got that big slicked back hair. Like,
Dude.
I don't know.
A man can be an artist.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are you an
talking to-
impersonator?
You're talking to my man all wrong. Do it again. Stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
That's been one of my favorite parts about this is like me and Donnie just go back and forth with the movie lines.
She was shot 27 times. New York City. I mean Kansas.
Oh man,
Zoe Deschanel, she might have a role.
man.
That's an expensive movie.
Yeah.
Dude, it's Dale Brisby.
Why don't we play ourselves? Like we already.
We might, some of us.
Is there going to be a spot for me? I'm not in the original script.
Yeah, you might die early in
Oh.
the movie. It's just a comedy. It's just randomly there's an explosion.
Or like you're getting on your last bowl, like, and Leroy comes to you. Man, Dale, I got to tell you, last night there was an accident. Donnie's dead, man. Oh, no. Wait. Donnie. He's right there. What the heck, guys?
Was he sad?
Did he cry?
Oh, does Cheech have a part in it?
I mean, the announcer at the rodeo
That falls
at some
into
point.
the pit of
Snakes.
fighting
Probably.
bulls. Like, Cheech has always had this nightmare of like
The camera's above him.
the crow's nest falling down into a pit of fighting bulls. Like he's always
Did he
talking-
really?
Yeah, he's always
I didn't
talking.
know that.
No, it didn't happen, but he's always talking about it. He's like,
I know it didn't actually happen. I would know it if it did. I didn't know that was his fear.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like Indiana Jones. He falls
what-
into the pit of fighting bulls, and he's like, "Why'd it have to be fighting bulls?"
Dude,
He takes out his microphone cord and like snaps it around. It swings out, but it breaks.
that's got because he's so heavy. That's got to happen. That has got to happen.
Crying.
Sir.
He is it's like it can be like a random twist, and you feel like the movie is like getting happier and it's about to end, and then just like randomly the announcer just or like after the credits.
Yeah, it just
Like he's
falls.
like the
Yeah.
rodeo's over, everybody's gone, and he just like falls into the pit of fighting bulls,
help me.
and
That's
like
where
he's
we
like
can put
laying
some
there.
clothes on a pile of like put some clothes on a pile of meat or something like that, and they're just going to it, tearing it up, and it's like, it's all dubbed in.
Well, they don't eat meat.
Well, no, but
That'll be
like
for the
they
blood.
like
Oh, it looks like it's
Yeah,
him.
they're hooking
Okay. I was
snot out
thinking
of
it ended. It's like he's like in there, and they're like slowly creeping up on
Yeah.
him, you know, and
he's
it's like
in a
yelling
hollow-
for help, and somebody turns off the arena lights. Maybe somebody JB secretly because he loves watching people get hooked. Yeah.
He's wearing a red silk shirt. The visuals are just too good, man.
This movie just gets better and better.
Yeah.
Retitled Bullnado.
Bull NATO 4. We're just gonna skip.
Hey,
the Bull NATO 4.
I'm sure you know someone in L.A. You've
One
got to
person.
know someone in L.A.
You got to know someone that knows someone.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, did we fix your?
Oh, I
Oh yeah,
look
you're good.
good.
You're good.
I
I put that SD card in, but I didn't know if I fixed the focus.
I look real good.
Oh man, Bull NATO. You know some people in LA, so take this movie idea back to
Mhm.
them.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
We pitched it. I sent it to a guy. I've sent it to a
Really?
couple
Who-
guys.
Well, yeah, I guess you can't say.
I sent it to. Yeah, I don't want to say. But
was it like a streaming service or was it like?
no. This was just like somebody to help me,
Mhm.
and they was like, "Dude, I can help you."
Dude, honestly, I know. I actually do like.
Okay,
know,
well,
like,
you
two
probably
people that I'm
probably do know more people than this guy. And I was like, okay, cool.
and that's saying something.
And I was like, okay, cool. So he was like, I'm gonna send you a contract. I was like, okay, even cooler. And so he sent it to me. I don't read a word of it because I never do.
Yeah.
because I'm a bull rider, not a lawyer, and it's a 14-page document. And plus, I can't read. So, anyways, I send it to my lawyer, and he doesn't look at it. Finally, I call him, and like 2 weeks later, and he was like, all right, well, let me just look at it while I'm on the phone with you. He's like dealing with other stuff that of mine. And I was like, did you look at that contract yet? And he's like, finally. So it's like 45 seconds of silence. And he was like, dude, don't sign this, please. You haven't signed this, have you? And I was like, no. And he was like, okay, good. Don't. We're going to rip it up and throw it away. This guy was like, he wanted to own us. First, we were going to get $500.
Oh man, why didn't you do it?
That's more money than I've seen in my whole
let
The,
me
life.
the
think.
$500 is like the holding fee. You know what I'm saying? Not like 500 total, but like for a year and a half, we had to wait a year and a half. There's like that time period, which is,
Yeah, like whatever.
first of
Yeah,
all,
get
it's
it,
not going to be
get
a
it.
year and a half. It's going to be a year or less. But for $500, I was like, okay. And then, but he owned everything. He would own Dale Brisby.
Dude, that's so scary. That's
He
so
would own
sketchy.
like the brand, the logos, Leroy, like associating. And we were like, and I was like, man, I don't think it's going to work out. And he was like, that's all I said to the guy. And he's like, why? Did you think I was just going to sign this piece of paper? Like, do
Yeah.
you think I'm just some dumb hillbilly out in the mesquite trees? Like, okay, I am, but the problem is I know that.
So I hire people.
I hire people to read these documents that are 14 pages long.
So people like you can't just come in here and steal it.
And
Take
then all of a sudden,
advantage.
like, oh, yeah, you can't put that T-shirt out. I own you, remember? No, I'm sorry, sir, but you will not own me. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
So I'm not going to do business with him.
yeah, I wouldn't. I feel like it's a poor decision. I don't know why. It's
So
just
we're- but
it's like a gut feeling.
But on a serious note, we're going to wait till this other deal plays out.
Sick.
Yeah.
That'll be cool, man.
And then we're going to pursue that.
Well,
So-
I know like two people that I can like if you got a script.
It's like in screenplay format. This Sunbuck's like ready.
oh, dude, I got you.
It's like ready.
Yeah.
And it's been submitted with like the Writers Guild and stuff. So
Oh,
like we're like
amazing.
kind of like protected and all that.
If I have a spot in the movie, I just want to be like the kid hanging outside the gas station that, like, whenever you walk out, you're just like, Dale, you're the greatest, man. Like,
Always pops up.
like me and another guy, like, you're like, just
And at one point, you're like, Dale, you suck.
yeah,
like-
what's up? What's up?
When Dale hits bottom or
Yeah.
whatever, whenever the main character, like, I don't know what the metaphors are called or all the terminology, but when the main character goes through a struggle, it's just like, Dale, you suck. And
Just
throw,
like,
throw a shake at him. And
always like have a big old like plug a chew in, just dirty looking kid,
Yeah.
like hanging outside the gas station.
Aren't
like,
you in junior high?
like
How do you keep getting tobacco?
shotgun boots, like just like redneck looking.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you're so disappointed in him when he hits rock bottom, like just a single tear
Yeah.
rolls down your eye.
Dale, you want me to pull your bull rope? Get out of here! All right.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. I love you.
Oh my God, Dale, you're the greatest.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so the movie keeps getting better and better. Yeah.
It's like a 3-hour-long movie now. But
I don't know how I weaseled my way into like being a narrator that's not Morgan Freeman that's supposed to be Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So is that like all your content? Like you like don't like your face in it, and even this movie?
Yeah. I'll be like Wilson off of Tool Time. It'll
What
always,
about this? This got.
Dude, this is new for me. I
Okay.
started like this is like a new. I've been trying to do better about it because like there's some real idiots in like street art that like aren't really street artists, but they do like the cool like I don't show my face
Uh-huh.
thing or like whatever. I won't name names, but it's just like, dude, everybody knows who you are and you're a rich kid, and
Yeah.
like it's just I'm over it, and
Dude,
it's a what's that?
no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. I'll remember what I was gonna say, but
But I'm trying to do better about just I'm just camera shy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
like I just haven't liked it, and I don't like seeing myself or like hearing my voice or like any of that stuff. And now I'm kind of just like, you know what? I don't gotta watch it. It's fun. It's funny, and like I don't care anymore.
That was
So-
him when we started, and still he's just like, yeah, I'll do this with you,
Yeah.
And so like he like has been like, yeah, I'll do this, since the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, me personally, like, I knew, like, what I was getting myself into, and, like, I knew I was going to be exposing myself. So when
Yeah.
haters show up, I'm like, all right, dude, you got to deal with it. But then when they show up with him, he was like, man, I didn't even want to be here. And now I'm having to deal with these haters.
My
Like,
mom made me do it.
like, I was just trying to help out Dale, and now all of a sudden I got to deal with these little 16-year-old kids that
It's
are
like
telling me,
heckling
like,
you.
Leroy, go play with Dale.
that are heckling me about not having a Sawzall. You know what I mean? Like, they just won't leave me alone about not having a frickin' guys. Carl Wayne got his head caught, and I don't have a Sawzall. I'm a cowboy. That's not just something I keep in my truck. Like, this bad to the bone video, we saved this bull's life, and y'all's biggest rock you got to throw at us is like, get a freaking Sawzall. Get a life.
People
Sorry,
were,
we're not carpenters.
Yeah.
people were like, why is Donnie wearing shorts? And I just came from the gym, and I showed up.
Yeah,
And,
like, we're trying to save this bull's
sorry,
life.
I
We
didn't
didn't
have time
plan
to
it.
put on jeans and boots.
And then go to Home Depot and buy a Sawzall. I'm like, well, what are you looking for, sir? Well, my bull's head is stuck in a panel. He could die at any moment, but I need a Sawzall. Let me get that one. That's a good one. The problem is, one of the frustrating things about it is, like, I got a Sawzall somewhere.
Yeah.
I just didn't know where it was. And so, like, I don't have time to find one. We
plug
knew
it
where
in, charge it. Like
Listen, I'm gonna
knew
get
where
the
the-
Sawzall. Donnie, you go change into some pants.
pants at a time like this.
I knew where the hacksaws were.
And so Leroy brings us 5 options, which I thought was excessive. I'm like, dude, he had the foresight.
He's got like a freezer full of body parts.
He comes over there.
What do you need?
And he's like, I thought we would get kudos for Leroy. He's like, here, I brought you some options.
One
Yeah.
person did say that.
Which
He-
one do you want to use?
One person did say, well, he brought enough sauce.
Yeah, thank you. Like, you can't, we can't win.
Yeah.
One person's like, how many saws you gonna bring? I was like, you should have brought a Sawzall. Thank you, Leroy.
You're welcome.
Thank
welcome,
you.
Carl.
Johnny on the spot.
Anyways.
I tried the TikTok thing, and obviously there's like a moment of silence after I say that. But hear me out.
We
Like-
did TikTok.
Yeah, it was like I try to like get like the like the name of whatever platform, so I have like my name like whatever. So like I start using that, but dude, you wouldn't. Well, I guess you would, but the comments on that are insane.
Hey, so there's this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go. Yeah, I want to hear your thing because I know it's way better than.
Well,
all mine.
we got TikTok presence too. So like we know I know what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
there's this girl, super attractive. She's from Tennessee. Her name's Holly, and she, what did the video? Anyway, she was just at a friend's house. They were riding horses, whatever, and she says, "You ain't no cowboy" in this video. Something I say all the time, dude. I don't know what people have a problem with an attractive girl wearing a cowboy hat saying you ain't no cowboy. But I'm telling you, like, people were like, took offense to this. Like, they wanted, like, it was crazy, the comments. Like, I was like, dude, how can you got to go out of your way to disagree with this random girl saying you ain't no cowboy. Like, on TikTok, though.
Yeah.
Nowhere else.
No,
She posted
oh,
on
it's-
Instagram. I went and looked at it on Instagram. Like, nobody says anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really go to Facebook. By that time, I was done researching. But
Yeah. Dude, same. Like
TikTok was being brutal, though.
Dude, and it's I don't know what that is because like I throw some like art stuff on there, but it's like more like lifestyle stuff. So like kind of like merging the gap, like I said, between like the ranch stuff and art stuff and like street art, graffiti, whatever you want to call it. And dude, like I posted one video of our horses drinking out of a stock tank, and you know I know so many people that have done this, but you throw some goldfish in your stock tank, and it's like cool. It's just there's not really any reason.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm surprised PETA hasn't showed up and
Dude.
knocked on my door.
For what?
So like, you know, whenever a stock tank, the light hits it right, and if there's like algae in it, like the water gets green,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
right? So it was just at the right angle to where it like almost looks like antifreeze. It's like bright green, and then there's like orange goldfish. And I thought it was cute because
I
like,
still don't get it. What's the problem?
exactly. But I thought it was cute because I'm like, you know, like the horse, they got some like salt, some feed on their mouth or whatever. They put their mouth in the water, and the fish learn they can go up and like get some of that feed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's cute. That's cool. Like, I'm sure like some city people like don't see that often. So maybe they'll like, you know, think that's cool. Just thought I'd share, put it out there. They sure do not see that very often because they're like, that is filthy water. Why is it green? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, just like tearing me apart. And I was like, I don't understand. And they're,
I don't either.
And it's like,
I still don't. Have y'all not ever seen like a lake?
Yeah.
That's exactly
Or
like a river.
A river.
Where do you think horses get their water from?
Exactly. Like it was.
They
it
just
just
have
blew
no
my
idea,
mind.
dude.
No idea. And they were like, "Would you drink that water?"
Probably.
And I was like, I mean,
Yeah, but I also wouldn't eat grass.
exactly.
What?
It's like, I'm like, it's a whole other world out
Dang,
there, man.
that's odd.
So I got torn apart on that one.
Do you take them to a block party?
Oh man, I just leave. I don't even respond. On
There's
that
some
stuff.
when people like, if somebody's being critical, like they're obviously a fan and they like want this. They're like,
they want that interaction.
and they say something that I should do different. I leave that.
Yeah.
But then there's this level of hatefulness that if like dude, block party.
It's like
I
dude,
take people to the block party.
I just leave it alone because I'm like, what is it like to be that person?
Right, I
To
get
sit
that.
around and be like, I'm just gonna talk like crap to this dude on the
Dude.
internet for like 3 hours.
Sometimes I contemplate it if it's like me that I take it personal.
Yeah.
If someone like, I take zero time to think about blocking someone that throws rocks at like anybody else
Yeah.
in my post. So
Yeah.
like Donnie or Leroy or whatever. Like if they throw like zero time. Like I've blocked like on, I don't know, you guys may have seen some of the comments, but usually quick too. Just like,
Yeah.
you're not going to come on my deal and throw rocks at people that are, hanging out
Yeah.
anyway.
One of the best ones is like, I think it's fun to throw a spray paint can up in the air and shoot it, and it blows up and paint goes all in the air, and it's great.
Absolutely.
Dude, there was this kid who was just like, I can't believe you do that. It's so terrible for the atmosphere. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like that,
I had no idea where that was going.
Dude, it's like the paint fell on the ground and it seeped through the ground into the water system, and then an animal that comes through to eat that grass is gonna get poisoned and die. And like I didn't have the energy to explain to him like how like an aquifer or like water comes from the ground
Oh
or
my
like
God.
anything. I was just like, no, it won't.
Yeah.
That's all I had in me, and I was just like, this poor kid.
Yeah.
He's been so
Listening
like,
to that lady talking about like cow farts. It's probably also from California, no offense.
oh, I'm from New Mexico.
Hey, you know what
it's
else
all
this
good.
is from California? Katie Kaufman.
You're never gonna make it, Dale.
Oh man. Oh man.
Shoot.
Y'all go look up Katie Kaufman on Instagram.
Great girl though.
She just started her Instagram. She's got like 17 followers.
Think about all the hate mail she's gonna get now.
It's not enough. However much she gets, it ain't enough.
Oh, poor girl.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah.
but
Dude, I became much more of a fan when she got that dental work done.
You're mean.
bless her heart.
Oh my god! I hope she listens to the podcast. And comes back with an amazing rebuttal.
Elliot does probably.
They got a swear jar. That's pretty funny. Or they do push-ups. Yeah, they both do. She curses a lot. It's hilarious. It's pretty funny when she does. Like, she'll cuss and she has to do push-ups.
Is it the kind where it sounds natural, or is it kind?
Oh
like,
yeah, no, it's
she's
natural.
like-
Yeah,
she's
she's
like-
good
yeah,
at it. Like
okay.
it's not forced. Like
All right. You know when you hear the people that do, and it's just like,
you've not said that
Yeah.
word often. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, she's good at it. She's a pro. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Her and like when Carly
Yeah,
Melanson says it, it's pretty freaking funny. Like,
Carly's funny. Period.
yeah, but like, there's just some girls that when they cuss, it's like, man, you would be more attractive if you didn't say that word. But
Yeah.
then some girls, they'll say it at the right time, or they've got this like hint of frustration, and you don't expect it, and it's just like, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Like I can imagine like a Reese Witherspoon saying a cuss word, and it's just adorable,
yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
I remember one of the first times I was talking to you. We were joking because like I had like just went back to New Mexico, and like you were like, you're just gonna go out there and like get in touch with your roots, and I like already knew it before. I was like, yeah, that's Reese Witherspoon's Sweet Home Alabama. I see where you're going with this.
Yes, yeah.
It's like,
Oh, snaps.
Yeah.
Well,
This is a long podcast.
I just realized that I'd been the battery's about to blow. Thank you guys for listening this episode of the Old Sun Podcast. Are we good with that name?
I'm good with that. It's your podcast, man. I work for you.
You don't want to name it. He wanted to name it the Donnie Ray Daytona Podcast Extravaganza.
DJ Donnie.
DJ Donnie Ray Daytona coming at you in L.A. Anyways, check out Drew Merritt. If you've listened this long, you're obviously a fan. And if you don't follow Drew Merritt on Instagram and TikTok, apparently, then you ain't no
dear
cowboy.
Lord.
Don't throw shade, people.
Yeah, don't forget to text me.
Love, not hate.
What's my phone number? 940-353-0890. Let me know what you thought about this podcast. Late night text. I'm texting people late night.
Weird.
No kidding. Just know that you might get a text from me at 6 in the morning or midnight.
A little kid messaged me on Instagram the other day. He's like, "Hey, my buddy wants your phone number. He's already got Dale's number. Like he wants yours too." And I'm like, "No."
Just because Dale gave you his, don't mean I'm giving you mine.
Hey kid, you on MySpace?
Yeah.
No. So bad. So bad.
I mean, I live at my mom's house.
What's your?
I like to call
We're gonna
my
wrap
roommates.
it up. My roommates, my parents. We'd like to wrap it up with a word of advice.
Yeah.
Life advice.
Life advice.
Wash your hands and say your prayers, because germs and Jesus are everywhere.
Listen, if you're doing it, you're doing it. Because if you ain't doing it, you ain't it. You want to be it, so you just keep doing it. Because that's what you do. You just do it to do it.
That might have been the best advice we've had yet. My advice is, if you ever meet Katie Kaufman, put her in her mouth. I'm just kidding.
No, she just got that dental work done. don't
Do
she?
the right thing for the right reasons and live with the consequences. I heard that on a Gary V. Block. What was that the guy's name? James Block? Anyways, I'll get the name.
Oh.
Gary V. Podcast. He
What
had
did
it.
I tell you this morning when we were on the horses? When we were moving cattle, you were talking about being smart, and I was like, there's this quote that I like. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's.
Yeah.
I love
That's a
that
good
quote.
one. That's a good one.
Great one.
Yeah.
Because I know I'll never be smart, but I can try to be wise.
Yeah.
Man, I heard one time. What does it say? Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from bad judgment. That's one I heard one time. So I like that one.
Man,
Just know, too,
that's a good one.
that we touched on Craig Cameron. He's like, you could be doing the exact thing that you knew you were put on this earth to do, and you're still going to have days. He says, to be the best at it, you got to do it every day. When you're not doing it, you're thinking about it. When you're working towards that every day. But when you do that, there will be days where you wish you'd have been doing something else. That was liberating to me, hearing that as a 14-year-old. Because there are days in rodeo and where it's just like, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then I think it's okay for me to think that, So
Yeah,
We lost camera two.
we lost camera too.
Mayday.
down on camera too.
So, did you give advice?
Not normal.
Yeah. Wash your hands and say your prayers because germs and Jesus are everywhere.
Yeah, if they want more, just listen to my music when it comes out in hopefully April or May, maybe.
Well, check out Leroy's music, If I Don't Call, DaleBrisby.com, and Drew Merritt. Pow pow and on to the next one.
And Donnie.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, man. We were 60 seconds away from this being a 2-hour podcast, our first ever. Y'all have anything else to talk about for 45 seconds? You said something else that was like good advice that I've been trying to think of now that we got 40 extra seconds.
And go.
I'm trying to remember what you said today. that I really liked. Or maybe it was just something funny, and I was like,
No,
I'm going to use that.
I am just a fountain of wisdom.
A fountain of wisdom that just keeps on fountaining.
Keeps on fountain. When was it? Like, what part of the day?
How much does it mean to you that you drew a mural on Rodeo Blues?
I mean, like, if I had a crown, that would be the jewel.
Memory card full.
We lost that camera too. We lost that camera. If you had a crown, that'd be a jewel. All right, 3, 2, 1. Podcast over. On to the next one. Pow to the pow pow.